Welcome to the TALKESHI podcast, episode 82. It's been a minute because I've been wanting to shoot episodes, pero it's like the universe almost doesn't want me to shoot, but I am here. I made these cute cuffs. Aren't they kind of cute? Son bien DIY, like son bien por encima, because I don't know how to sew or want it to be permanently sewed on there. I'm very excited to shoot this episode. I haven't shot in a while, so I'm very pumped to be here. Before we get into today's topic, which is cosas que odio de los boricuas, pero no son como que... It's like in social settings, como que... I feel like we have customs that I just don't agree with. Cosas que I'm just like too grown for ya. But that ironically are actually carried by the older generations and stuff. So before I do get into that, I want to talk a little bit about, mira, literally the past few episodes, which have been inconsistent, ¿verdad? Like 2 episodes ago, it was still October. And the last one was at the beginning of last month. But in both, I have been talking about Palestine. I want to make it very adamant that I am a fierce supporter of the Palestinian people. And I was thinking, ¿verdad? Because yesterday I was like, how do I maintain this topic alive? Because I feel like, it can be easily lost in like the news feed cycle también, and like we shouldn't, ¿verdad? We should not forget that this is happening. But something that I was thinking about is que, it is very nice and good that people are feeling empathetic towards the Palestinian people, which is an image that has been flipping, because I feel like at the, early October, people were like still being pro-Israel, and then, the tides kind of changed when presented with new information, which is how it should be, right? Because I think it does stem from empathy and from, who's suffering. Let's side with the suffering rather than get into politics or whatever. But obviously, this is a very political situation. This is a very political... I think there's no way around the political in this sense. And even though you feel sad for the victims, which is... Obviously, I'm not even questioning that. I think the way I said it sounded kind of weird. But what I mean is that there is also... I think it is important to study the historical aspect of it. Like, as I was thinking yesterday, I was like, it's... if your kid was getting bullied, you wouldn't just be sad that your kid was getting bullied. You would like to know who is doing the bullying. And I think being pro-Palestinian but anti-Israel is very important, and I really want to make that very clear, because, I'm Puertorriquen, so I know what an oppressor is. I know what the United States, what the West, what imperialism can do to a country, to a group of people, and I think that it's very important to keep that in mind. I don't think that you can be, like... I don't think it's impossible to be a creator, an influencer, and that's something I've learned recently, because I was, at the beginning of this season, I was like, oh, I don't want to get into topics that I don't really know about, but I also think there is power in, like, or strength, or, it is possible to be a creator and to be a fun creator, not a serious creator or a political one or anything, but also have these convictions. Like, I think it's, wouldn't you... Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying this content creator, but like, are they aware of like what's happening right now? Like, it's kind of hard for me to... So I hope that it is very clear to you, because I know that my audience cares about this topic. So I hope it's very clear to you that I am aware and I am conscious about what is happening, and I am anti-occupation, I am pro-Palestine, and I hope that a free Palestine is, achieved in our lifetime. And I guess, like, in every episode, there's gonna be, like, a free Palestine segment, but I don't... Like, I always have things to say about the topic, but I also don't want to let it die as well. Even to a... Like, I have nothing to lose on my channel, really, so I don't even fear that. But yeah, so today's topic is... Cosas que no me gustan de los boricua in social settings. It's the holidays, and I feel like vamos a estar haciendo mucho, ¿verdad? Vamos a ir a la familia, vamos a hacer muchos encuentros de la familia, y like del trabajo. There's gonna be like, you know, holiday office parties and whatever. And these are just things that, listen, como que the way que yo me crié, I feel like there were always, no sé si fue que yo me crié con mucho miedo. I feel like maybe you guys' parents weren't as anxious or scared as mine were. But mine were so socially anxious in the sense que, como que, there were these demons, and these demons were called like apariencia, hipocresía, como que competencia was a big one, como que my parents worked really hard. You know, I really don't mean to come on here. Sometimes I forget that no one watches this podcast and I can just talk about whatever. So no one's gonna get mad when I say this. Pero my family was just very concerned with these concepts. Like, desde chiquita a mí me enseñaron a como que no decir esto, a decir sí, como que vamos a traer este topic así para hacer sentir a alguien como que mira lo que estamos haciendo. Like, it's so... And I feel like I'm not the only one. Como que I bring it up thinking that maybe it's not as common, but I know that I'm not the only one. And I also feel like maybe if my parents felt that way, I feel like some of y'all enforce that for sure. So I'm going to be talking about some of those things, but let me make a disclaimer and say que no voy a incluir cosas. First of all, I'm not going to include like racism, sexism, homophobia. Como que those are things that I dislike that I think are very clear already. They're also not subtly political. They're very blatantly political. These other things may be a little more subtle in their, like, there might be deep reasons as to why we're like that, y que sé yo, but I also think that they're just things that we have that son por falta de empatía y por como que querer mantener esta apariencia y just, I don't know, como que en vez de mejorar como persona, we're just keeping estas tradiciones alive, which we shouldn't. But por ejemplo, like, I'm not gonna talk about why I dislike Puerto Rican hustle culture because there is a political reason to that, porque nosotros, o sea, siempre han dicho que los boricuas somos y que vagos, que no tenemos, you know, tenemos falta de compromiso, even though como que, sure, yo puedo decir que hay gente que son vagas y que tienen falta de compromiso, but I don't think it's like a cultural thing, and the reason we do believe that es porque tenemos ese stereotype de que los boricuas somos vagos y qué sé yo por el colonialismo. Like, see, that has like a specific reason. Esta cosa may not be as, you know, outwardly como que tener esas razones. La gente es tan presentá. I absolutely, mira, yo no sé, porque yo nunca he entendido, like, en actividades y cosas así, como que tus familiares te pregunten cosas o qué sé yo. First of all, something that I was very much thinking about yesterday es que, de verdad, yo siento que como boricua hay que darnos cuenta que mucha gente no le importan tus problemas. Lo que le importa es saber, como que I have been shutting the fuck up lately and not telling most people my business or venting or qué sé yo, even though it's so good to let it all out, right? Pero not everyone has your peace of mind or your como que bienestar in mind. They don't. They just want to know. They're like, pero ¿qué pasó? Pero there's nothing that bothers me more than a bitch que dice, pero ella no me contó eso. Como que what makes you feel entitled to that, honestly? Like, that also conflates with another point que tengo aquí. I'm not even done talking about lo presentado que somos, because we really are, like, for no fucking... Because your life is boring. En verdad, yo no puedo pensar en otra razón por la cual tú quisieras saber other people's business que tu vida ser bien aburrida o no tener como que just like, mira, go paint a book, go write a book, go paint a book. Hey, I may be dumb. Anyway. No, pero, like, another point that I want to bring up es que somos tan criticones y burlones. Now, one, sometimes people deserve it. Como que I definitely believe in criticar y burlarse de gente que son malas, que son sexistas, homofóbicos, que clearly estaban buscando bulla. I am a firm believer in, like, you wanna fuck around, come find out, ¿me entiendes? Como que I'm definitely, like, pro doing that. I just hate, like, mira, there was this one instance. There's gonna be a few instances. I have a lot of references this episode, pero there was this one instance con una persona que salimos and salimos con alguien de trabajo de esta persona. And usualmente yo veo a esta persona y yo digo como que diablo, como que ellos son bien come mierda, son como que, qué sé yo, bien de trabajo, whatever. But in this particular outing, I saw a very vulnerable side of them, or very personal, or very como que just generally wholesome. Como que nos invitaron a algo de su familia, and they said some words that were so kind about their son, y como que just, it was so nice to see another family of 3, because I'm also like technically I'm a family of 3, to see them be so nice and kind to each other, and, you know, whether or not it's fake, como que it didn't feel fake to me. I know what fake looks like. Yo soy una catadora de la hipocresía, okay? Quote me on that. No, pero it was just so nice. And even if it wasn't real, you know, I don't care. Like, it was just a nice moment to see outside of como que lo negativo que puede ser la cultura boricua. Because it is. No me venga con esa. And in the car back home, this one person says, ay, pero ¿verdad que feo le quedó, qué sé yo? Like, I don't know if they were criticizing the food, what one woman was wearing. Why did you have to ruin that? Como que de verdad, mira, I've been struggling with my own negativity recently, and I've been like, damn, como que I'm so negative. Yo tengo que tratar de be a little more positive and a little more hopeful en esta vida. I know que life sucks y que la gente es mala, pero you really don't have to be negative all the time o faltarle respeto a alguien in the name of fun or in the name of como que mira, vamos a criticar, como que let's judge, like let's say. En verdad, ese no era el momento. And those people hadn't done anything que I believe was deserving of that. So yo digo como que de verdad el boricua está cabrón. El boricua no puede parar de criticar o burlarse, ¿verdad? Pero en verdad yo siento que ese espíritu burlón is so annoying. Like, let it die. Let it die. En verdad, really. Because I have no... O sea, unless these people are people in power, or white people, or men, or straight people, I have no como que qualms with anyone. And there's no reason to be such a hateful bitch. En verdad. Amongst those things, mira, no sabemos respetar los deseos de los demás. If someone tells me to keep it a secret, es como estaba diciendo, I don't vent anymore, right? So if someone tells me to keep something a secret, especially if it's something like serious, I keep that shit a secret because no one else has to know your business. Y hay gente que no sabe respetar eso. That's one example, porque en verdad no respetar los deseos de los demás is like, it's so broad and it's so como que aquí no lo sabemos hacer, aquí hacemos lo que nos da la gana. And we can't always do that. Y yo he aprendido eso a la mala. Let me just say that. No en particular de como que hablar y bochinche y qué sé yo, pero siento que aquí la gente hace lo que le da la gana and you can't always do that. Speaking of which, uno de los bullet points es no entendemos las reglas. En verdad escribí no entendemos, pero es que no nos importan las reglas. And I'm gonna bring this happened yesterday, actually. Ayer fui a lo del marbete, because toca. Si no has hecho lo del marbete, this is your sign to do so, para ir a bregar con eso. Y en donde hacen inspección, hay un sign que dice manténganse en su vehículo. Como que basically like una fila bien larga, ¿verdad? Como que para que te inspeccionen el vehículo, queda en el vehículo que will get to you. Basically that's what I interpreted, right? El vehículo del frente de nosotros estaba vacío. No había nadie montado ahí. Parece que la persona dejó el carro y se bajó a hacer compra o bajarse a una tienda o qué sé yo. Mother... Las reglas lo dice ahí bien grande. manténganse en su vehículo. Gracias a Dios que la persona trabajando dijo como que, ay, mira, como que, diablo, esta persona se fue como que por sus cojones, ¿verdad? Vente, yo te paso, yo te hago la inspección ahora, qué sé yo. Literally, como que me ayudaron con eso y la persona detrás, como que lo veía caminando para acá, como que just being like, are you kidding me? Pero es como que, loco, lo dice ahí mismo. Quédate en tu fucking vehículo. You feel como que no sabemos hacer eso. A veces las cosas lo dice tan clarito como que... And mira, I feel like there are rules that are dumb. I do feel that. I love it cuando los trabajadores... Eso mismo, como que that person could have easily been like, no, pero... O sea, ahí dice, manténganse en su vehículo, pero, ¿verdad? Estamos en fila, qué sé yo. That's a stupid rule because I'm here, like, I think you can... ¿Verdad? I feel like some rules are definitely meant to be broken. But I feel like there are things that are just so easy. Like, there are rules that are so easy to follow in the name of just, like, social, harmony. That I feel like, hay reglas que no, hay reglas que are stupid. Siento que, for example, I also want to say, I'm a very punctual person. Y a mí sí me enoja cuando la gente llega tarde, especially if I really need you, or if you said you would be here at 1 and you're coming at 4:30. Like, that annoys me so bad. If there's anything that I hate, it's waiting. Just making a little detour, porque estamos hablando de eso. And I know there's such a thing as Caribbean time, as queer time, or whatever. No sé, como que estas son las cosas que we don't know how to freaking live in a society in harmony, okay? En verdad, all we know is chaos, which is, maybe that is a byproduct of colonialism, pero at the same time, como que I just think they're just like, unless you have a problem or you need an accommodation. En verdad, ahí yo digo como que diablo sí, like this person has a disability, qué sé yo, pues let's accommodate. Pero other than that, si es por tus cojones, yo odio cuando la gente llega tarde y se ríen. O sea, sorry que llegué tan tarde. Like, fuck you. I could have been like doing some selfish ass shit instead of waiting for your ass. En verdad. Y en verdad, I don't know if I said that already, that, you know what, speaking of, this might be a long one because I still have a few things to discuss. But one of the things I want to accomplish this year is be more direct and bolder. And this will bring us to our final few points. I feel like I have a long history of being self-deprecating, ¿verdad? And being like, just kind of like, si alguien dice como, pero tú, qué sé yo, like straight up tirándome la mala in a funny way, como que I'll take it and be like, yeah, because I suck. I'm tired of that. I'm really tired of that, and you're gonna feel the discomfort when I hit back. Like, if you say something stupid to me, I'm gonna say something stupid back. Or I'm gonna try to. Because it has been a long process of doing this, ¿verdad? Yo siempre he querido defenderme y darme a respetar, porque siento que la gente coge confianza conmigo demasiado rápido. And I'm like, dude, like, respétame. Like, you don't know me. Y eso me molesta mucho, so I'm trying to be more, like, I have no reason to fake anything anymore. I'm a grown-ass adult. Which brings us to la hipocresía. Siento que en social settings, mira, como que I'm a polite person. I consider myself a nice person. Not kind. I mean, I do consider myself kind, but kindness, so being kind and being nice are two different things. I consider myself a nice person. I would never, like, be mean to you or, like, completely dismiss you. If anything I learned in 7th grade, it's that saludar a alguien es reconocer su presencia, and it's like acknowledging them, which is a big sign of respect. It sounded deeper in 7th grade, I guess, but pero, I will be a nice person. I'm not gonna act like I care about you more than I do, or give you backhanded comments, que la mierda que siempre pasa aquí, puñeta. It annoys me so bad. It annoys me so bad que aquí vivamos de esa hipocresía. Yo no tengo la energía para ser hipócrita con la gente. Cuando yo era chiquita, Como que, y esto I guess que tiene que ver con todo. Like, this whole episode is based on my childhood, pretty much. But, como que antes, my mom always said, como que, es que ella es tímida, es que Kiara es tímida. I'm realizing que a mí no me importaban las cosas enough to, like, act like I cared. And that's what made me, like, quiet. Como que I just never had any interest in participar de cosas sociales. Like, I really did not care. Y por eso como que a mí no me gusta ser hipócrita. Like, something I've noticed as well is that I am so bad at chit-chat. I am so bad at, like, talking about very... Like, there's an episode of New Girl where it's like, there's this model that she's like, this table is round. And she's like, yeah, and it's also flat. And she's like, right, yeah, it's also flat. Like, that's what a lot of chit-chat sounds to me. I feel a little sexist because notoriously I think that women are better at chit-chat and just, like, talking about, like, nena, sí, pues yo compré esto, mira, y tenía esta mesa, pero entonces decidí comprar esta otra mesa. Like, just details like that bore me so much. And I feel like as a kid, I was very bored with that type of chatter to the point that I was like, I really, like, why do we have to talk about this? Why do I have to pretend to care? Like, grandma or titi or prima, like, I don't care about your grades. Like, I don't care about what you did last week. That was as a kid, right? Obviously now I'm an adult. I'm more empathetic towards talking to people. Like, if they want to talk about silly things, I'll hear them out. O qué sé yo, and, like, nod and give an anecdote myself. Pero, God, I'm so bad at chit-chat. De verdad, I feel like a lot of us have learned... This is something I've actually learned greatly from the queer community. Y es que, you choose your family. Y que no siempre just because you are related by blood significa que tú tienes que estar atado a esa gente. Yo siento que en Puerto Rico tenemos un afán de la familia y que hay que amarnos no matter what, y que, especially now during the holiday season, no te sientas obligado a compartir con personas que te hagan sentir incómodo. Como que la frase completa de la sangre pesa más que el agua es la sangre de la amistad. O sea, the word is covenant, pero I don't know what it is in Spanish, but that's what they mean. The blood of the covenant pesa más que el agua del vientre, que significa que you choose your own family. Como que tú decides con quiénes tú quieres confraternizar, you choose con quién tú quieres compartir tu vida, ¿me entiendes? Y de verdad, yo siento que en Puerto Rico nosotros hacemos sentir mal a la gente que decide eso, que dice como que this is a lesson that I learned, I've always known it. I taught it to my mom, que siempre me decía, la familia es primero, tus amistades van a crecer y hacer su familia y tú te vas a quedar sola, ¿no? Tú tienes que hacer tu familia y qué sé yo. Tras que mi familia soy yo, very much, I also think que el afán de como que hacernos close a gente que nos hace daño o crear empatía a gente que nos hace daño o que simplemente, ¿verdad? No tenemos esa conexión con ellos, es bien dañina. Yo no creo en eso, como que yo creo en que, ¿verdad? Como que uno crea la familia de uno y uno no tiene que estar tolerando nada de nadie. Y también como que just like, solamente porque venga el concepto de jamona. ¿Qué tú me dices del concepto de jamona? Like, I think it's so stupid ver a una mujer sin hijo y sin esposo mayor, ¿verdad? Vamos a decir 40, 50, 60, y decir, se quedó jamona, qué pena. No estuvo tolerando macho innecesario como tú. No estuvo sufriendo, o sea, y lo digo por la gente que lo dice, ¿verdad? Porque hay gente que de verdad piensa que es mejor estar mal acompañado que estar solo. And I don't think that's the case. Para mí es mucho, yo estoy tan en paz cuando yo estoy sola. Mucho más que cuando estoy mal acompañada o cuando como que hago cosas por no estar sola. Which is a lesson que mi generación ha aprendido muy bien. La pasada no la ha aprendido. Y es lamentable porque it's detrimental y es como que uno no puede vivir una vida plena si uno lo que está pendiente a no estar solo, en verdad. Um, so uno, o sea, ¿verdad? Puse este punto just because I was like, si tú no sientes que tú quieres compartir con alguien, don't do it. Don't do it. Uno puede estar súper feliz solo. Uno puede comprarse un poquito de coquito o hacer un poquito de coquito e irse por ahí por la isla tomándoselo on Christmas Day si a ti te da la gana. De verdad, no dejes que nadie te haga sentir mal. Hazte sentir bien tú y tú naturalmente vas a hacer sentir bien a los demás. Enough to like compartir ese coquito with them. I just want to make one last point that I was thinking about y en verdad yo siento que estoy pensando mucho en mi niñez, en like situaciones donde yo estaba con familia o qué sé yo. Y ustedes saben que I'm a socially anxious person y de verdad yo diría que muchos de mis traumas o just like hasta mi autoestima se ha dañado o se dañó por situaciones donde I felt like I was around adults que me iban a hacer sentir mal. Por eso I really enforced the phrase eso no es nada, porque yo siento que yo me crié de una forma que yo hacía todo mal. Y I wrote down something that says, I try to be a safe adult. I try to be a safe adult, como que any kid que se críe cerca de mí o cerca de mi presencia, yo quiero que ellos sientan que I'm a safe adult, que ellos pueden contarme lo que sea, because they're kids, they don't have a concept of like, ay, esa es una bochinchera. They don't. All they know is their feelings. Pero yo quiero que ellos sientan que I'm not gonna criticize them, I'm not gonna judge them, I'm not gonna make them feel bad. That I am a safe adult. I don't want to have kids, pero sé que voy a tener niñas criándose alrededor de mí. And even teenagers, ¿me entiendes? Whoever is younger than 18, I want them to feel like I'm a safe adult. Because of the way I was socialized around my family and social settings, yo hacía algo mal, se burlaban de mí. Yo hacía algo mal, me criticaban. Yo hacía algo mal, me decían como que tú no vales nada. And I don't want to make any other kid feel that way. I didn't plan to cry in this episode. I don't want to make kids feel that way. I want to make them feel capable, que they are like they're doing just fine, que en esta vida se sufre uno se equivoca, pero uno lo sigue andando y que el self-worth de uno no está atado a esas cosas. No está atado a si tú estás sacando buenas notas o si tú tocas un instrumento o si tú eres, those things are important, pero tu self-worth depende de lo que tú quieras en esta vida, especialmente si lo que tú quieres hacer es bien. And that's really it. That's really the message that I, wanted to give in this. I think that all these things that I listed son cosas que tenemos que arreglar en nuestra sociedad. They're just things que we have to like, we can't just be like, ooh, like I'm a sassy bitch. Como que a mí me encanta hablar mierda de los demás. Mira, so do I, but mainly if they deserve it. Or if like, no sé, if it affects me greatly. Honestly, I'm trying to change in all types of ways. I would like society to be more empathetic, but since it won't be, I'm trying to be more direct and honest about what I want. And, I'm gonna finish it right here because I feel like I've already said so much and I'm kind of tired, but if you heard me out, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one, which hopefully I discuss seasonal depression. I'm about to eat these cookies, which I never brought up. These cookies, my aunt makes them, and she sends them all the way from Chicago. And they're so good. They're so good. Thank you, Titi Mirna. Bye, guys.